Jonathan, you and I were talking, and you'd given some examples of cities that you thought were exemplars, good examples that other cities could look at to get ideas about sharing data. Would you mind sharing, a couple of those that come to mind?
Yeah, I'm happy to. So I'm writing this book, Smart Cities for Dummies, and there's going to be an appendix section on dashboards and what cities are doing well to make important data available to any stakeholder who wants it. There's quite a lot of really strong performance dashboards, so it shows how cities doing, maybe against some key performance indicators. And so here's a few of them. I'm not vouching that these folks are doing well right now to make COVID-19 related data available, but I'm saying if you are a city leader and you're looking to examples, like you pointed out in your question, here are a few. I would look at Hong Kong doing some good work, Dublin City in Ireland, Honolulu, which I think is fun, in Hawaii. They're doing some really good work. There's one called the European Data Portal, and I'm being quite impressed with this. This is a comprehensive repository of data across the European Union. And of course, in my neighborhood, San Francisco. Perhaps we can put the links into where the posting is for this video so people can easily access them too.
Jonathan, anything else that you want to share with folks out there in city governments or citizens who could share some ideas with their local government about how to use technology and be more resilient to issues like this?
I do. I have two quick additional pieces of advice and thoughts for city leaders right now and communities. Is collaboration is vital, and some communities are just doing such a wonderful job sharing information on platforms like Facebook and enabling communities to engage with their city leaders in this time of uncertainty. So I would say to cities, if you're not embracing some of those free channels, everything from Facebook to Twitter and beyond, this is a good opportunity. One of the ways I've seen that is if people are really enjoying is using something like WhatsApp, because it's so directly on your device, in your face, immediately presenting information. Create these WhatsApp groups. Maybe they're specific to transportation or healthcare or availability of products in stores, whatever. You can have these domain-specific groups. So WhatsApp, the other messenger services like Telegram and Signal and others, clearly they can be used too. They're all very, very powerful. I think the last thing is, and again, this is more of a let's figure out what went wrong now and fix it going forward, is it's clear that the internet is the most important thing right now. As it relates to technology, from everything from the science that's going on, the sharing of science around the world to quickly find some therapeutics and a vaccine, to just having the ability to do this, right? These videos, or to keep in touch with friends and everything. So we need to reinforce the internet infrastructure in the country and bring more broadband to more people. Unfortunately, there's still a lot of folks in this country who have dial-up or in fact don't have access at all. And I think we do finally have to acknowledge it as a utility like electricity and a telephone, and everybody should have access to reasonably fast internet. It's now just essential for our society to function. So cities have a big role in that, and that would be an area I'd say let's get on this without hesitation after this crisis. What advice do you have in terms of funding?
I love that thought process, right? Because we're managing through a crisis, and we need to be focused on the day-to-day, but it's also an opportunity to say, what are the things that we wish we had now that would have allowed us to respond better and be more resilient? And what can we start doing today to build that? And I absolutely agree with you. I think sort of universal or more universal access to broadband and better bandwidth in general would be a big one. I personally, I think, this is, it's not the situation that I'd like to have it happen in, but I think it's a great opportunity for people to learn about supply chains, right? And to really understand how interconnected our global economy is. And for us to not take for granted the magic of walking into a grocery store and having such a wide assortment of products available to us, but to really have an appreciation for what it takes to source the ingredients and to manufacture those things and deliver them and make them available and do it in a way that they're fresh, right? And frankly, pretty cheap. If we want to have a higher level of availability, well, that means, we may need to do things that involve keeping more inventory. And that means, things might end up being more expensive. So we need to make those trade-offs and figure out if maybe there really are some roles for governments, including cities, to collaborate with their local supply chains to say, we want you to operate in a way that is efficient and cheap and provides a wide assortment of fresh products to our community. But we have a role to play in making sure that there's a reserve here that can help us meet those surges for our citizens if and when there's a need for it. So my hope is that it really opens the door for a better understanding of how supply chains work and the need for cities and governments in general to collaborate with the supply chain to make sure that we can provide that quality of life that we all want and that smart cities should bring to us.
Yeah, such an important point. And never before has your work, your life's work, been more important. As you said, it's unfortunate that it had to emerge during this time, but it's out there. And your Supply Chain Management for Dummies book is seeing a lot of interest, of course, and getting a lot of sales. It's a great book, and thanks for everything you do and how you're helping us understand this such an important topic. Thank you.
Absolutely. Jonathan, thank you. Really appreciate you making the time to have this chat and being so open and transparent. Hope that we're doing some good and that sharing this conversation helps some of the other folks out there with the journey that they're going to be making in the months ahead. So thank you, Jonathan.
Thank you.